Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew. Happy late Halloween. You see that I have my chainsaw. We're going to be talking about Chainsaw Man, and let me get this out of the way so we can rip into it. I'm going to give an overview of Chainsaw Man, both the manga and the anime, but I'm going to try and keep it a little bit general of what's to come so that way I don't really spoil anything for anyone, as well as giving my first impression of how I got into it to what I thought about it at the time and why I think Denji is a super relatable character. So my very first experience with Chainsaw Man was on Reddit with just one panel, and I was so enamored that I had to read it. The series follows Denji after the death of his dad. Now he is in debt to the Yakuza and ends up transferring the debt to Denji as a kid. Now, mourning the loss of his dad and now his debt, he befriends a devil dog named Pochita who's in a dire straits. Now, there are devils in this world. They do make contracts with humans for, say, their vitality or limbs and stuff like that, and the humans get a small portion of that devil's power when requested. Some are so powerful that they can just appear, some are ones that just take over human bodies. But for some, there's a special case like Denji where Pochita just ends up helping Denji rather than having a contract with him. He helps him by completing missions that the Yakuza give him in hunting devils so that they can sell the body parts to whoever so that Denji can pay off his debt. While also doing that, he does sell body parts, like I think he sells his eye as well as his testicle, which, given the Yakuza's medical history with that kind of stuff, yeah, this should have been a Halloween special. Long story short, after killing some of the devils, the Yakuza ends up making a deal with the devil zombie in exchange for power, but they realize that they turn zombie themselves and end up killing Denji. Now, as Denji is dying, Pochita ends up going into his subconscious, I guess, in a dream, where he talks about his dream, where Denji wants to be debt free and just live a normal life and just be able to have some toast and jam, which is just a taste of freedom for him. Now, Pochita hears this and makes the sacrifice of changing Denji's heart for Pochita and ends up becoming this hybrid devil, this hybrid human devil, I guess. And Pochita says that he wants to see his dream realized through Denji's eyes. Now, upon waking up, Denji does actually kill all the zombies as well as the devil zombie. Upon killing everyone, Makima, who is the head of the public safety devil hunters, recruits Denji because Denji finds it a way to actually realize his dream of not being in debt and living a normal life. So while he is recruited, he does have feelings of attractions toward Makima, and he ends up joining the crew of Aki, who's not a big fan of Denji because he's trying to get at Makima. They do have some funny exchanges, I will say. Like, they will have some really funny exchanges if you watch the anime or the manga. You do meet Power, who's also a devil that is in human form and has decided to join the safety devil hunters. She's pretty funny. There's a lot of altercations that she has with Denji where she says if he can save a cat, she'll let him fondle her breast. Now, Denji doesn't really care for cats, but does a complete 180 because he wants to fondle some breasts, which, to be honest, makes him super relatable just because, let's face it, whether you're a man or a woman, you've probably done that in the past at some point or another. He also meets Kisi and Kobini. There are a few other characters, but I feel like these are a little bit more notable in what they're doing in the plot. So after all of that, he does, without spoilers, he does have a training arc with a master. He also has to fight certain corruption that does happen within the Devil's Safety Hunters. After fighting them, he does try to pretend like he's not Chainsaw Man while he's at high school, which he later changes because he wants to be known as Chainsaw Man so he can get women. As for the plot, without getting too delved into it, it is not the greatest plot. It is something that you're more going to enjoy because it's absurd, like how One Punch Man is, where it is trying to make a plot in a bigger grand scheme, but to be honest, you're there for just the absurdity and the humor of it. In terms of recommendation, I will say that I prefer the anime more than the manga, just because the anime does a really good job in the way the voice actors' tones are to, well, honestly, their facial expression and the just out of craziness, beautiful animation to the fighting. Now, the reason why is because also the manga just has really dry jokes that I can't get very often compared to the anime where I know I missed that joke in the manga. As far as anything else go, the interaction between Aki and Denji are pretty funny. Um, I would say I definitely give this an 8.5 out of 10. As far as Denji being a relatable character, I mean, let's face it, he's a guy that doesn't want to be in debt. He's a guy that wants to be with women. He's a guy that wants to just be able to eat his toast without having to worry about anything and living a normal, semi normal life. I think that's pretty commendable for the fact that in our economy, especially, at least in the US, that most of us are in debt and we all want to get out of debt and just try and live a normal, sustainable life, as well as, some of us do try to hit on women or men, to get with them. So I feel as a relatable character, he's probably one of the most relatable characters that I've had to relate to in a while, except for the guy from Welcome to the NHK, Sato. That's the only other person that I can think of that is super relatable. Now, before I leave you with a quote that I think is the realest thing that's ever been said in this series, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Happy late Halloween. Now, I'll leave you with this quote. Chainsaw. Damn, come on, bro.